Hey, everybody, how you doing? Yep. Haven't had too many of those this year. Welcome to PHLY Flyers Postgame. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. Joining me live in the Xfinity Mobile studio, it is Steve Jaco. And that's a disappointing one right there. That is an I Hate Mondays performance from the Philadelphia Flyers right there, Steve.
No lasagna to be found either, Bill. Just a terrible time all around. And what's the opposite of woo? Is it like, ooh?
Ooh.
Like,
Yeah.
whatever the opposite is. I can sum this game up with one little anecdote where I missed the Kevin Hayes goal that made it 5-1 because I decided to go into my kitchen when the Pens went up 4-1 and make hard-boiled eggs for the week. So that's just how bad this one was in the second half.
Yeah, I think the Flyers might have been making hard-boiled eggs or something as well in the middle of that one there, Steve. Listen, they didn't have it tonight. That was pretty clear. It did feel like it was shaping up to be a decent game. Penguins score first, but it's like, the Flyers get scored on first usually. It's the 17th time this year they've been scored on first. That's not an exaggeration. They'll probably be able to get it going. Tyson Foerster ties the game on the 5-on-3 power play. It is... no one gets out of the box because there was another delayed call. Very next shift, one-timer attempt, he looks like he tore something, or I don't know what happened. Non-contact injury, at least in terms of anyone up against him, but he tries to uncork a one-timer, and he immediately stick down, throwing the gloves, furious. And it kind of feels like that zapped any energy they did have out of the game, really, and this was not the A performance we were hoping for from the Flyers against the Keystone State rivals. Again, they haven't had a ton of these this year, but somehow they end up out shooting them. It seems 29-27. Did not feel that way. The Penguins power play goes 1 for 4. It was just kind of the Penguins power play goes 3 for 4. Excuse me. It was just kind of a beating. Honestly, tonight it was just not a good game. I want to give them a little bit of a pass because, listen, they just came off of a really good road trip, but at the same time, I don't know, be up for your home team, for the home crowd against the Crosby and the Pens.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to be up for this kind of game. You want to see them get up for this kind of game. And it doesn't help when you lose your leading goal scorer midway through the game, who averages 1752 a night, who is tremendous two-way player, just a guy that you lean on a bunch. That really crushed them, and they did not bounce back. And that also sucks to see, just because you want to see them bounce back from that. And it's not to say everybody had a bad second half of the game, but it sure felt like it. I mean, there were guys who put up, some shots tonight. Trevor Zegras definitely showed up tonight. Trevor Zegras ended up leading the team with 6 shots on goal at almost 20 minutes on the ice. So relatively great night for Trevor Zegras. He had a point. And Michkov ends up with 4 shots on goal. Didn't end up getting one in, but he, after a bad first period, I thought he bounced back and had some good plays later on. Brink had 4 shots. And here's another thing that sums up the game for you. The leading forward ice time wise for the Flyers tonight was Owen Tippett with 20:09, actually second among forwards and defensemen behind Travis Sanheim. I like Owen Tippett to a degree. I do not think he's the kind of guy who should be one of your ice time leaders like that. That's just rough to see.
Yeah, and you know what always makes me feel better after something like this, Steve? A little retail therapy, and that's what I'm recommending for all you out there, because there are under 2 hours remaining in our Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. Of course, right now, do it right at this moment. Sign up to be a PHLY diehard, and you will not only become a member of the exclusive family that gets the writing of Charlie O'Connor and all of our all-star cast of writers exclusively on allphly.com. Get access to the Discord, discount on merch and events, a free shirt, all that stuff. But you'll get it for the low price of $26 for your first year. That is the lowest we have or probably will ever offer diehard subscriptions. Become a member today. read everything Charlie has to say about this abomination of a game and everything in the future. All of that. You get all the diehard benefits. Just $26 for the year. And of course, there is still a little bit of time to take advantage of the Black Friday sale on the merch store as well. Go to store.allcitynetwork.com. 30% off everything, up to 90% on some clearance items. All right, Steve, let's get to tonight's game changer, driven by Elkin Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. And it felt like Tyson Foerster was going to be the game changer for positive reasons. Scores a power play goal in the second period, gets the game tied up. We're feeling good. And then on the next shift is when the injury happens, and it just straight up sucks. Honestly, it sucked the life out of the building, seemed to suck the life out of the team. He was ruled out with an upper body injury. It sure feels like a triceps tear or a dislocated shoulder. If it's a dislocated shoulder, that might be like the best case scenario. I have no idea. I'm not a freaking doctor. Contact Rothman about that sort of thing.
You're not?
But it
Dr.
just,
Matz isn't in the building?
Yeah, it just seems like, man, the worst possible time. And honestly, one of the worst possible guys this could happen to. He came back from an injury. He gets heated up. He scores a goal tonight to keep his hot streak alive. And then he leaves. And just based on his reaction, it was like, this isn't good.
Yeah, like you saw his arm go limp like that. And knowing also that he had an injury on his, I think it was his shoulder, right, in the offseason. Yeah. That is a big discouragement right there. You're looking at a guy who has a 30-plus goal pace right now, who's leading the team in goals. And again, as I said before, he's one of your best defensive players. He's a guy who gets a lot of ice time each night, a lot of responsibility. You see him on the PK. I think Owen Tippett had to fill in for him on the PK late in the game, which added insult to injury, where already the penalty kill was a big reason. And I'm sure we're going to talk about that a lot tonight.
Yeah,
but that was a big reason for the Flyers just getting whooped in this game. And you don't want to see Owen Tippett on there. Like, I like his speed. I like his size. I don't like his defensive game. And seeing him back there instead of Tyson Foerster is a huge bummer. And if he's out for an extended period of time, this is a hard guy to replace in the lineup.
And this is kind of the thing I want to get into with Charlie. Now, Charlie always gets mad at me for like asking, well, what do you think they're going to do? He's like, I don't know what they're going to do. So I want his opinion.
Do I look like Danny Briere to you, Bill?
Like, would you, Steve, would you say, all right, here's the opportunity we've been waiting for. We've been waiting for next man up. Here's Nikita Grabenkin's chance to play in the top 9. Or is this to you the opportunity to take a look at Alex Bump, who is second in points on the Phantoms, has been producing a ton for them since a slow start. We all kind of penciled him in to make this team out of camp. He disappointed in camp and started the year at the Phantoms. He's now spent an extended period of time there. Would you go Bump, or is this the, all right, well, here's the chance for Grabenkin to play in the top 9, which is something we haven't been able to do really for any extended period of time this season?
This is where I'm really conflicted, because I do want to give Grabenkin more of a chance, because I don't think he's had a fair shot. The fourth line's been a disaster.
Yeah.
I think Rodrigo Abels is just like such a just mediocre replacement level player. He's just a guy. And Garnet Hathaway is just not who he used to be. He's having a rough year. Like, he really has not looked like he used to be, because he used to be a really good third, fourth line player, a guy who could score a lot of goals, a guy who could just beat some guys up in both the offensive and defensive end. And he looks like he's struggling out there. Like, I saw a play late in the game. I don't remember exactly when, but they're trying to clear the defensive zone, and he just has this effort to try and clear the puck out that I feel like a year or two ago would not have been what he would have done there. Just not really, just, it just didn't look like himself. So I would like to see Grabenkin get away from them, because he does have more skill than those guys offensively. On the other hand, Bump is tempting, because Bump was a guy we were excited about coming into this year. I did do a podcast last week with Maddie Campbell over on BSH, where we were talking about some of the prospects and some of the phantoms. And I asked her about Bump coming up. And Maddie said that she thought Bump needed some more seasoning. And, talking to just the guys around the phantoms, they kind of felt the same. Like maybe he could just use a bit more seasoning before getting this. So on the one hand, you do want to see him develop properly. And it seems like the phantoms are doing a lot better with that this year. But on the other hand, you also just want to see exciting guys up here, guys with some swagger and some attitude, because there's not enough of that on this team. Like Zegras has brought some, Michkov brings some, but large, they're hockey players, right? How much swagger do they have at the end of the day? It's not a ton. So Bump's a guy who came in last year to the AHL playoffs, fresh out of college, and it's just like, yeah, we can beat the crap out of the, these other guys. Like, I think it was the Penguins minor league team they played in the first round. He's like, yeah, this guy's got nothing on me. So he comes in with a chip on his shoulder. I like the way he plays. So I do think maybe he could use some more seasoning, but at the same time, like it's more exciting than hearing about some of these other potential call-ups that are on the Phantoms.
Yeah, Bump has 16 points in 20 games. Doesn't sound crazy, but you look at it, he had 3 in his first 8. And he has 13 in 12 games since then. So he's really, really picked it up since Halloween, when he had a goal and an assist against Hartford, as I'm looking at his game log now. So maybe that's the way to go. Like, if Foerster's going to be out for an amount of time, it's like, well, I want a Bump or somebody, not as much as I love Tony Dick. Like, I don't know if Anthony Richard is the answer here. At the same time, this fourth line is playing in such a way that if they did a full fourth line change, that would, like, if it's Carson Dorwart and Tony Dick up here for the next game, like that wouldn't really piss me off. And even if Nikita Grabenkin stays on the fourth line or gets moved up, like whatever, if you're gonna put D'Lo in there or you're gonna call up Bump, like whatever the combination is. Honestly, I'm ready to see something different with this fourth line, because Abels and Hathaway are just doing nothing for me. And listen, I love Garnet Hathaway. Love what he's done for this team the last couple of years.
The man collaborated with Dogfish Head. I can't hate on that. Come on.
Yeah. Great beer right there.
Yeah.
Like, he's a pot stirrer. He gets physical. When he does drop the gloves, he tends to beat dudes up. But just does not look like that guy this season. And at this point, it's, what is he really doing for us out there? There were times tonight, like, he's getting into it with the dude who can custom, and I'm like, just sucker punch him. It's 5-1. Who cares?
It's okay to do that. Bill, he did give us 7 hits tonight, though. 7 hits registered for Garnet Hathaway in the score sheet. So there you go. Grabenkin had 4. And nobody else. The only other guy with 2+ was Owen Tippett with 2.
That's the rough one, but it really all starts. The game changes with the Tyson Foerster injury, and that is tonight's game changer, driven by Elkins Chevrolet. With that, because who knows whenever Charlie is going to join us. Let's take our first break. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Big swing and a miss tonight. 0 for 2. Brink over half a point. Nope. Vladar over 22.5 saves. He finished with 22. That's a big no as well. But whether you win or lose, you should always place your action at Bet365, because we have breaking news from Bet365. New customers now get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, win or lose. All you got to do is sign up, use code PHLY365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, whether your initial bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus and physically located in PA. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now it's time to tell you about Xfinity, because Xfinity is the ultimate sports destination. There's no other place you can get all the best games and all your favorite teams all in one place. No switching between 20 different apps. No lagging, no buffering. Just crystal clear picture and sound with Xfinity's enhanced 4K. And did I mention the multi-view? You can watch up to 4 games at once, all while you're getting live real-time notifications and stats right on your TV, so you can keep up with all your fantasy teams. It's the best seat in the house every time. So next game day, make sure that you're a big fan and not a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box. Yeah, and we just see... just get this update here. Brenna says no update from Tocchet about Foerster, according to Charlie. So Charlie put that out on Twitter, I am assuming, a little bit ago. And that's just a bummer because he is the maybe the most consistent guy outside of Zegras on this team. Like, those two have probably been their best forwards. I wouldn't even say probably. They've been their most consistently productive forwards this season. Foerster leads the team in goals. He's up to 10 despite missing was it 3 or 4 games earlier in the season. Came in, we weren't even sure in camp how ready he was going to be because of the injury from World Championships, and started out hot, has remained really good, and now we're going to be without Foerster. It appears for a period of time, but who knows? Maybe we get lucky. They are hockey players, so we'll see. Hopefully no Ellis Island for Tyson Foerster. I don't even know where to go next. Let's talk about Dan Vladar here, Steve.
Tough night.
Maybe not his best game. You see there, the 22 of 27. He gets lit up for the 5 goals. I thought, especially in the third period, they were doing a very poor job. And I think Bush pointed this out on the broadcast. Like, Vladar has been, basically their MVP to this point in the season. And third period, to let them, especially that 5th goal, the Kevin Hayes goal, like, protect your goalie a little better than that. Maybe he doesn't have his A game, but he has been your backbone all year. You should want to maybe, block the extra shot, put in the defensive effort just to keep him from having his save percentage fall 6 points in this game, according to my math. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's down to 906 after this one. Came in at 912. After allowing 5 goals on 27 shots. I expect that to go back up in his next few games, but I think that just shows you not just the kind of night he had, but the kind of night this team had overall.
Yeah, it was a rough game as far as just giving support to Dan Vladar. I felt really bad for Dan Vladar because a lot of these goals, there wasn't a ton he could have done. There's definitely a few where if you break it down, I'm sure he could have made different plays, but for the most part, it felt like the Penguins were picking their spots and just hitting them. I mean, you're talking about high skill guys. Crosby puts up 2 goals tonight because of course he does, because we live in hell and Sidney Crosby is Satan. But it's just like every damn time. But the thing is, Crosby is really good. He came into this game with 16 goals, among the league leaders. And, he's a guy who can pick his spots and hit them because he's one of the best players of all time. It's just what Sidney Crosby does. And it's horrible for us, but that's just who he is. And the Flyers were giving him space to do that. The penalty kill was a big problem tonight. And I think that's something we have to talk about.
Yeah, that's the other end of this, is 3 of the 5 goals allowed are on the penalty kill. And while your goalie needs to be your best penalty killer, you could probably do a little bit better in front of him. And I know we've made a big deal about how good this penalty kill has been. And even though they give up 1 to the Devils, I think the other night they killed some big ones down the stretch. In November, they were 30 of 37, which is 81.1. I think that's 16th dead middle. So it went from October, they're awesome, top 2 or 3 in the month of October. Starting in November, it really started to go away, and now another 3 tonight on 4 attempts. Maybe this is an aberration, allowing 3, allowing a 75% power play, and the Penguins' power play has been really good this year. It's over 30%.
That's ridiculous. Over 30% is completely ridiculous. That's like NHL video game numbers.
You see, if you were to see Colorado, New Jersey at full strength, Vegas, and go, oh yeah, 30%, that makes sense. When you see the Penguins, you're like, but how? They're all 100.
They're old.
Yeah. And then you look at Crosby tonight, and it's, oh, he's got 18 goals, huh? Well, how about that? Just absolutely ridiculous. This penalty kill, I don't know if it's the shuffling of defensemen, if it's a little bit of overuse for Travis Sanheim and those guys, but It just hasn't had that same bite. They haven't been the dangerous power kill this year, but in the first few weeks of the season, they were legitimately excellent, and now they are trending way down since then.
And it doesn't help again that you lose Tyson Foerster today, who's again one of your best defensive forwards over there. And to replace him, there's not a ton of options in this lineup. The other thing that really hurts the Flyers here is the lack of true centers on the team. Sean Couturier, he does pretty good for who he is at this point. And Christian Dvorak's pretty good. Noah Cates, I think, is fine as mostly a center, whatever he is. But ultimately, I don't know. Like they don't really have that strong presence at center to really lead a penalty kill like that. And I you can work around that. Clearly the power kill did that a lot and was really good, but it's not looking good right now. I think you either have to rethink your strategy, or I really don't know what the solution is, to be honest, but it was a real problem tonight. And again, the Penguins are very good in there, but the Flyers have to do more. I mean, you're giving Sidney Crosby way too much room to work, and the guy has been burying it all year. You can't give him an inch. You can't give him any room to work. You look at other teams when the Flyers are on the power play, and I feel like other teams are always suffocating the Flyers. They're always just pushing them to the outside, not giving them a lot of time with the puck. And I feel like the Flyers let the other team work with the puck a lot more.
Yeah, they have this strategy to keep everything to the outside, but they do fall into this trap, whether it's on the PK or at even strength. And we saw that, I thought, especially in the first period tonight, where the defense starts just playing Andrew McDonald beer league defense, where it's, okay, I got to keep everything in front of me, which means back into Vladar's lap. And at a certain point, yes, you want to keep it in front of you. You don't want to get beat, but you have to try to make a defensive play. You're not just, this is the NHL. These guys can take that room you're giving them and make a play. They're probably not just going to hit you with the shot. Yeah, that's how I defend in beer league. Absolutely. Because then I'll just get hit with the puck because no one can really shoot all that well, and it's not going to hurt. But this is Sidney Crosby we're talking about. You back in like this, you're going to create opportunities. And I think they do that way too much. They just get into these, it's not an all the time thing, but they just fall into these traps sometimes of, all right, they're pushing the pace. Let's just keep it in front of us. Let's not let this turn into, a game of 3-on-1s. So we're just gonna back. Oh, okay. We're at the hash marks. Like we have created for them a high danger opportunity because we just backed into one.
Right. And the thing about the Penguins is, while they are old, all their old guys are like elite guys. Like, really, you're talking about Hall of Famers. Like Crosby, clear Hall of Famer. Malkin, pretty sure he's a Hall of Famer too. Letang could be a Hall of Famer. Carlson probably should be a Hall of Famer. These are guys who are amazing talents. I mean, Carlson's turned it on again this year. He's been fantastic. Even Brian Rust, who I make fun of because his name is Brian Rust, is a pretty good hockey player. He actually ended up with 3 points. He led the Penguins in points tonight. 1 goal, 2 assists. The guy can pass. The guy can score. He's done well in Pittsburgh for himself. So these are guys that you can't give them to room to work there because they're just so talented. You got to suffocate them. You got to get in their face.
Yeah, that's and that definitely was not the case tonight. I thought it was especially evident in the first period, and then on the PK where, there was I always remember the Alain Vigneault penalty kill where he said, yeah, we're going to try to keep them to the outside, but then when there are these mesh points, when a pass is a little slow along the boards and we can maybe challenge it, that's where we will, and we'll try to create a turnover there and maybe get play to go the other way, but that hasn't been the case yet. All right, on the other side, we are going to hear from Charlie O'Connor on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line. He was down at the arena tonight. But first, I got to tell you about Togo. Listen, it just doesn't make any sense for something like Matvei Michkov to be playing goal, right? That doesn't make any sense. It's not worth the risk, the time, or the money. You want to keep your stars focused on what on what they do best. And the same goes for your business. You don't want your top people buried in operations, the tedious, time-consuming, and redundant activities that wear your team down. And that's where Togo can help, because Togo can help any business looking to reduce operating costs, become more efficient, or unlock more time for their best people. From customer service and accounting to order management, logistics, admin, data entry, and even complex multi-step operational processes, Togo takes it off your plate at a fraction of the cost. Every engagement starts with free process mapping and engineering. There's no cost and no commitment. Togo doesn't bill a dime until the real work begins. And with programs starting at as low as $1,000 a month, you're not going to break the bank. And each Togo program includes dedicated staff, custom automations, and US-based process engineers who act as your quarterback, giving you complete control, total transparency, and instant efficiency. At Togo, you call the plays, we execute. Visit harnesstogo.com. Scale smarter, work faster, and stay focused on winning. While we're here, got to tell you about Bucci Jewelers. That's right, because we all know the feeling. You walk into that jewelry store, you're trying to pick out something for your significant other, and suddenly you're in over your head. What's the difference between all these diamonds? What if they don't like it? It is stressful, and that's why working with Joe and Michelle at Bucci's Jewelry and Design has been such a game changer. These guys make the whole process seamless. From the minute you walk in, they treat you like family because they actually listen. They help you figure out what they'll love, and then their team designs something completely custom right in-house. There's never any pressure or pushy sales vibe, just good people who love what they do, and the end result, something you're proud to give and your partner will never forget. So next time you need that perfect piece, go see Joe and Michelle at Bucci Jewelry and Design. 30 plus years in the game, voted Philly's #1 jeweler year after year. Over 1,000 5-star reviews speak for themselves. Check them out at BucciJewelers.com and tell them PHLY sent you. With that, we now throw it to Charlie O'Connor, Philly's #1 hockey beat reporter on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line down at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. Well, that was a real barn burner, huh, Chuck?
Yeah, it's just a bummer. And we can go into, an explanation for the loss. I think there are quite a few that make sense. But it's a bummer on two levels. Number one, it's a bummer because it's the Penguins, and you never want to see the team lose in that fashion to the Pittsburgh Penguins, especially after the October game seemed to be getting some juice back into the rivalry. So that's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, the reason why it's a bummer is that the Flyers were building some momentum. It really felt like that. Like last week, aside from the Tampa game, obviously that was rough, but they win 3 straight. That game on Saturday against the Devils, I thought was as good of a game as they played this year, at least in terms of underlying process. It was like, oh, they could be good playing this way. They could. And because of that, number one, it seemed like they were building momentum as a team. Number two, it seemed like they were starting to build maybe some momentum with the fans. And this was a little bit, and I'm not comparing this team to that team, or to these teams, I guess is the better way to put it. But this is a little reminiscent of those 2010 teams where it's like, oh, the eyes of the city are upon us. Now let's fall flat on our face. And it was a little reminiscent of that because this felt like an opportunity. It's like, oh, man, Flyers got something going here. We're real mad at the Eagles. Maybe we should start paying attention to the Flyers. They're playing the Penguins. We can boost Sidney Crosby. And then they lose 5-1. Now, I'm not saying this team is the 2010 teams. I think they're different enough that I'm not going to paint them with that brush. But it just felt a little bit like that, and that's why this game was especially a bummer.
Yeah, that's exactly. You know what, Charlie? You summed it up perfectly with your tweet about the Tyson Foerster injury, where it was like, yeah, it just kind of sucked all the life out of everyone, and you summed it up perfectly there. That's what it feels like, because part of me wants to just give them a pass. They just had a good road trip. It's one bad game. They've been playing well. The goalie didn't have it. Nobody had it tonight. And yeah, it happens. It's an 82-game season. And the other part of me is like, damn it. You do this to me all the time, though. You've been doing this to me for 15 effing years. But it is what it is. Just kind of one of those games. Brenna told us that you said Tocchet doesn't have an update on Tyson Foerster and the severity of it. Based on his reaction, and maybe he's just pissed because he had a chance to score and something got tweaked and he'll be okay even if he misses a week or whatever. But based on his reaction, it didn't look good, Charlie.
No, it did not look good.
Yeah. I know you don't know how they're going to handle this, and maybe they don't because they don't know the severity. Perhaps that's true. If he's out long-term-ish, Is this call up bump territory or give Gurbenkin a run in the top 9 territory?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I have to think those are probably your two top options. Like I believe Danny Briere went on went on Snow the Goalie today and basically said that, like, well, Gurbenkin's kind of our 10th forward, and if somebody gets hurt, he's probably the guy who gets bumped up to the top 9. So lo and behold, here's an opportunity to do it. Like, that would be the chalk move. It's like, all right, give Gurbenkin a look in the top 9. Probably call Carl Grundstrom back up. He's got 15 points in 19 games. Maybe you can give the fourth line a little bit more of a boost, give them a little bit more of that, like, classic fourth line physical identity that Gurbenkin can do, but you probably want him playing a little bit more offense, so you don't want to entirely focus on physicality. You give Gurbenkin a look in the top 9, add Grundstrom in, and see if that just, kind of kills two birds with one stone. You improve the fourth line and you get Gurbenkin the minutes that we all think he should be getting. That would be the chalk move. The exciting move would be to call Alex Bump up, because while he didn't start out the season in the AHL all that great, he's been playing much better recently. And even though it's funny, like, you look at his numbers, he doesn't have a ton of goals in the AHL. I believe he only has 4, and he is more of a goal scorer by trade than a playmaker. But from a pure skill set standpoint, he is kind of the most logical stylistic replacement for Tyson Foerster. He is a sniper. He has a plus shot. You can put him in some of the same spots, especially on the power play, as you put Foerster. So if we're looking at, like, Foerster missing a month plus, maybe they think about bringing Bump up, because you're like, well, we got to figure out some way to replace this skill set in the lineup. And even if it takes Bump a week or two to really start to figure this out and get comfortable, it might be worth it, because Forster's going to miss a lot of time. I think that would sort of be my guess, is that if it's short term, I think they might go the Gurbenkin Grundstrom route. If it's long term, maybe you have a serious discussion internally of, like, so is Alex Bump ready? We thought he was close to ready in camp. Maybe we give him a look. That's my guess, but that's a guess more than anything else. I really don't know for sure.
Yeah, after a really slow start, 3 points in his first 8, he now has, I think, 13 points in his last 12 games. So he has turned it on since Halloween, Charlie. And honestly, when we talk about, like, Grundstrom or even a Tony Dick or something, my question is, why not both? Because the fourth line needs something regardless if Gurbenkin gets bumped up or not. Bump, no pun intended there, but, like, regardless of what they do with the fourth line and Gurbenkin, they need something else. Now, tonight's not the night to complain about the fourth line, because, like, everyone sucked equally. I thought Zegras was okay, I guess, but, like, no one was good. But just looking at this fourth line, man, Hathaway is a shell of himself. Abels is what we kind of thought he was. They're getting nothing out of the bottom of this lineup right now, and without Tyson Foerster, it's like, all right, now it's not even 3 full lines anymore.
Yeah, it's a fair point. And they do have to address the fourth line. You're absolutely right. Now, again, this injury, if it proves to be a long-term injury, or even a middle-term injury, I don't think anybody's expecting Tyson Foerster to pop up and play on Wednesday. I think people are assuming he's at least going to miss a little bit of time.
That would be surprising.
But even if it's a midterm injury, they're going to have to do some juggling. They're going to have to change up the fourth line, and maybe they stumble upon something. But I agree with you. Something needs to be done with this fourth line, especially if you're going to continue to do what Tocchet has been doing, especially over the last couple of weeks, which is trying to get the fourth line more minutes. Like, I think that probably was his first attempt at a solution, where he's like, well, maybe part of the problem is I'm not playing them enough. I'm not giving them enough time to play themselves into the game. And maybe if I give them some more minutes, maybe they'll play better. And it turns out that he's given them more minutes and they're playing just as ineffectively, just in more minutes.
I find that, listen, it's a fine conclusion to come to, and then if it's wrong, it's wrong. Like, all right, let's try something else now. It's just funny to me that, like, well, the really good guy, no, we're not going to give him more minutes. But these guys who are just okay, maybe, they need to play more. That's the solution. I just find that a little funny. But
and they were on a road trip where they were playing, like, every single day. So
they played 4 and 6, like, all that.
Want to spread out the ice time a bit to make sure nobody gets too exhausted.
I get it. It's just kind of funny on the surface.
Okay.
It's funny to hear about, for sure. Now, Charlie, the penalty kill was one of the biggest factors in the Flyers getting smoked tonight. Huge liability. Does the coaching staff seem frustrated by the way it's just gotten worse and worse since October?
Well, I'm not sure if I buy that it's gotten worse and worse. They had some really big kills on this road trip.
It's fair.
You know, they really have. I think they came into this game. I think they were like what, 4th or 5th in the league. So I'm not ready to say it's gotten significantly worse. They've had some big kills. Now, one thing that Rick Tocchet did say after this game, which I thought was interesting, was that he felt like over the last 5 games that even if they were getting results, that even if they were getting some big kills, they were having a good good run of like stopping opposing power plays, he felt like the structure had been a little bit off over the last 5 games is what he said. He felt like maybe they've been getting a little lucky, they've been catching some breaks. Well, tonight the chickens came home to roost, and the lack of attention to detail that had slipped into their penalty killing over the previous 5 games finally came back to bite them. The penalty kill, however, this year has been very good. I mean, they were a top 5 penalty kill, I believe, going into this game. So it's hard to kill them too much. But yeah, they got scorched tonight. Like, they got scorched by Sidney Crosby and Malkin and the whole gang. And, it can be easy to write it off as a one-off if this is the only time. And granted, like, Buffalo isn't exactly filled with firepower, so you would think you might be able to come out on Wednesday and do a good job on the penalty kill against them. But if you go out there and you give up 2 more on Wednesday, then it's an issue. Then you'd be like, all right, well, penalty kill got off to a good start, but it might be faltering. Let's fix this. For now, I'm willing to say that maybe it was a 1-game aberration, but it was an aberration that was one of the biggest reasons why they lost the game. So it's worth talking about.
Yeah, especially with Foerster getting hurt, this could be a bigger factor.
Sure.
I will say that while the overall number is good, they were elite the first few weeks of the season. Since November 1st, they were 16th coming into tonight. I have to believe a 25% night knocks that down a little bit. It's been trending not great. They did come up with some big kills, especially they give up a power play goal to the Devils, but late in that game, they have a couple of kills that win them the game,
Yeah.
So it's you gave up a goal, but also when it really mattered, you shut it down. And tonight, it was just, they got the doors blown off. Part of that's the goaltending. Part of that is, like you said, the structure falling off. We just have to see where this one goes, Charlie. I know I'm going to have had a bigger problem with this than you, but it's 5-1 and Owen Tippett gets cross-checked in the face. Who cares? Jump him. Jump the guy. No, I'm totally serious. If Boko Amama or whatever his name is talking a bunch of crap and he's the guy who concussed Garnett Hathaway and might be the reason he's not any good anymore, sucker punch him. It's 5-1. Who cares? This sort of stuff, I realize I'm just fired up because that's the way I think. But I do think it matters culture-wise that someone jumps in there. Did any of that come up post-game at all?
No, but I think one of the consensuses from both Rick Tocchet and the players was that the Flyers didn't have a ton of energy in this game, and Tocchet was honest about it. He was like, "Look, we just finished 4-6. It's a 5-8 coming back home," and he could tell. He said he could tell from the morning skate that guys were lacking energy. But he's like, "Look, that's no excuse. You need to learn how to play tired." And
that's
then
the NHL.
Yeah, and then Tocchet also said, "Look, maybe some guys were reading their press clippings a little bit too much, and they just seemed a little comfortable tonight." And that was echoed, not that about the press clippings, but it was echoed throughout the guys we talked to. Noah Cates basically said he just didn't think, I forget exactly how he put it. He said he called it a sleepy game, that it was a sleepy game, said they lacked focus. Travis Konechny acknowledged that it was a draining trip, and sometimes that first game back home you just don't have it, and they just didn't have it. Now again, these are not excuses. This is explanations, and they need to be better. They need to have more energy. They needed to get up for this game in a way that they didn't. But I do think that the lack of fight, the lack of toughness shown in the third period was probably a byproduct of the fact that this is just a tired team. Now, Rick Tocchet, as he said, no excuse, but he is giving them the day off tomorrow because he sees a tired team.
It's the Pittsburgh game. Come on. It's the Pittsburgh game, guys. And how much longer do we have to deal with Sidney Crosby smoking the Flyers like this? Is the guy a vampire? What is this?
Yeah, I mean, look, he's just going to keep doing this until the day he retires. The thing with Crosby, and I pointed this out on Twitter over the last couple, I think I pointed out in October, I pointed out again, the thing with Crosby is that, number one, he clearly ups his game to play the Flyers. He clearly loves to play the Flyers and just gets up for these games. Number two, he also gets real friggin' lucky against the Flyers. Like it's a combination of like he's real good and he's real lucky. Like that's like the second goal. Yeah, that's all skill. That's a ridiculous shot. He somehow finds a way to get that shot through before he runs into his own guy. There was like a little bit of space. That is the fact that he is one of the 10 best players of all time. The first goal is like Dan Vladar, the goalie who's been stopping everything,
thinks he has it.
Gives up his one bad rebound of the season and it ends up right on the stick of Sidney Crosby. Like, this is how a guy puts up insane numbers against one team. He's both really good and really lucky.
I honestly, as much as I still love it, I blame Derian Hatcher. I think it all started with Derian Hatcher, including in that game when Crosby scored the winner, and it really just hasn't stopped. So I think we can all gather around and blame Derian Hatcher, which of course is like blaming Bobby Clarke, which I love to do as well. So it's all their fault.
Oh boy.
Chuck, I guess we could talk about other stuff, but nothing else happened in this game. Let's get to Charlie O'Connor's 3 stars.
Yeah, this was
good luck.
This was tough. I thought about giving the video coaches the 3rd star for taking away a goal because I didn't see that one as one that was going to be overturned, and then they slowed down the instant replay, and boom, there you go. But I decided not to. I actually found 3 players that I thought were fine. 3rd star I'm going to give to Travis Sanheim. I thought Travis Sanheim actually had a low-key pretty good game, strong underlying numbers. He was carrying the puck. He's on the ice for, I believe, a few goals, but 2 of them were on the penalty kill, and I didn't see him as the main guy who made the mistake. And then the other one was the Kevin Hayes breakaway that we will never speak of again. So not going to really kill him for that one either. I thought Sanheim was making plays. He was doing stuff, and he was less bad than everybody else. So 3rd star.
He was doing stuff.
Less 3rd bad.
Star. All right, who is star number 2?
Star number 2 is Bobby Brink. I thought, especially in the first period, he was doing stuff. He was flying, blasted around Crystal Tang early in the game. But the Flyers did seem to have their legs in the beginning of the game. It just felt like, it felt like, I don't know, like midway through the first, they just sort of lost their way. I believe there was a penalty, and they just never seemed to get it back. Like they don't score on a power play, then Crosby scores, and then it just didn't seem to really get going after that. But especially in the beginning of the game, I thought Brink was everywhere. He was making plays, he was making things happen. Bobby Brink at 2nd star.
That's the spit, like, exactly. Lizotte spears a guy in the balls, and there's no response. Like, I don't know, man. Headbutt the guy. Like, if somebody did something anyway.
Portgard angry. Portgard.
Oh, star number one.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I only heard Steve talking about guard angry.
Yeah.
Star number 1 is the only guy who scored for the Flyers, Tyson Foerster, and also then he was injured for the really bad parts of the game, so he gets 1st star because he did a good thing and then left.
Yeah, that's he tied the game. Like, it's like he gets the no decision. Like, listen, man, I pitched 5 innings and we weren't losing when I left. This is kind of on you. That was Tyson Foerster's game. He was the game changer as well, because as soon as he left, the game ended, as far as I'm concerned.
Pretty much.
All right, those were Charlie O'Connor's 3 stars, and that has been Charlie O'Connor on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line. Get to writing, Chuck. I bet you there's a lot of superlatives to throw into this one.
Yeah, I don't know if this one will take me too long to write about. There's not a lot to break down aside from the fact that they stunk.
They did. They certainly did. And with that, we have to take our final break. When joint pain or injury disrupts your routine, getting the right care shouldn't be a hassle, and Rothman Orthopedics, they make it easy. They make it easy with convenient office locations throughout the region, plus walk-in and urgent care centers when you need help fast. Whether it's a new injury or something that's been bothering you for a while, expert orthopedic care is just around the corner. Schedule your appointment today at rothmanortho.com/PHLY. Rothman Orthopedics, your mobility, our mission. And while we're here, it's time you need a couple of crooked teas tonight. Listen, because everybody's got their favorite hard tea, but have you ever turned the can around to read what's inside? Most of the time you can't, because others hide what's inside, but Crooked Tea brags about it, because Crooked Tea brews real USDA organic tea for real flavor with 0 sugar. There's no fake junk hiding behind the label. What you see is what you drink. So next time you're at the store, flip the can. And if you can't find the ingredients, just put it back. Then grab a Crooked Tea, zero sugar, real tea, and fully transparent. You know it, Philly. Real recognizes real. So why drink the fake stuff? Crooked Tea, the only thing better, is a strip sack in the Super Bowl. Visit crookedtea.com to find a store near you. All right, and that brings us to tonight's Unsung Hero presented by Togo. Togo, the leader in operations outsourcing. Let Togo handle the work that gets in the way of your work. You hold the reins, we pull the sled. Togo. And tonight's Unsung Hero, listen, it could be any number of players because it's not like there were a whole bunch of standout heroes tonight.
Wasn't saying it for anyone.
That video review, that was a really good idea by Charlie, but I can't steal it now because I do want to talk about Trevor Zegras. Played about 20 minutes tonight. What do you end up with? Like 19 some minutes, Steve?
Yeah, I got it at the top of the sheet. But
I'm sure the thing disappeared. Oh, wow, the NHL thing hasn't gone away yet. Yeah, 1937 time on ice, 6 shots on goal. He's not a minus. He does pick up an assist on the Zegras goal. Or on the Foerster goal, excuse me. He is Zegras. I guess if we have to name somebody, Bobby Brink was an early contender for this one because of that first period, like Charlie pointed out, but I don't know if I saw him again after the first period, quite honestly. And his struggles producing continue. But even on a night where the Flyers are mostly not good, their standout from the first 25 or so games of this year, Trevor Zegras, he did what he could. 6 shots on goal. Isn't out there for one against, picks up an assist on the power play. That's about as much as we can ask from a guy on a night in which nobody had it.
Nobody had it. That line continues to be good together. I mean, 6 shots is the most anybody tried in this game for the Flyers. And he gets he continues that point per game pace, which is great. Love Zegras. He's always a threat when he's out there. He's fun to watch, even in a bad game like this.
Yeah, that's the just little things he does out there at the puck, little things he's going to try, keeps you at least somewhat engaged. I realize this thing's 4-1, 5-1, and it's like, all right, whatever. And then the Zegras Tippett Dvorak line gets a shift, and they're in the offensive zone, and I'm like, I don't know. They're trying stuff. Yeah, they're still trying stuff. They're still getting a couple of shots. They're still getting a couple of chances. Tristan Jarry was good tonight, and I do think sometimes we don't credit the other goaltender. I thought that line, especially on their chances, they almost got too in tight. Like, Jarry had to make some really nice saves, but it was... Yeah, and the puck kind of just hit him in the chest because there was no way to direct the puck anywhere else because they were kind of on top of him. I thought maybe that was a little bit of an issue tonight, getting too tight, but at least they got chances.
They got chances. And yeah, I mean, that's a good point about them getting too in tight because if you look at the one goal they did score, Foerster was not that close to the net when he shot. And it felt like they were trying to get a lot of stuff close. The Penguins blocked a lot of shots, it felt like tonight too. And the Flyers just couldn't find a lot of clear lanes tonight. So, you got to give some credit to the Penguins for really clogging up the lanes like they did. I thought their PK did a really nice job on the Flyers power play. And Jarry had a really strong night ultimately. I want to give, I thought Zegras had some excitement in the second half of that game. And there was one shift from Michkov in particular where he powered into the offensive zone. And I really thought he was going to get one on this attempt here, but he went in deep. He set up a really good chance for the Flyers. So I'm hoping that if one guy steps up with Foerster out, I think he's been trending in the right direction. It's Matvei Michkov. He ends up with 1656 and 4 shots tonight. So 21 shifts overall. So a lot of, positive-ish things you can say in the second half of this game for Michkov on a pretty lousy night.
Yeah, and that is the Unsung Hero presented by Togo. You hold the reins, we pull the sled. All right,
I took the conversation from Zegras to Michkov. I'm sorry.
No, it is. I did want to talk about Mish because I thought in the first period he was just not as hard on the puck as he's been, looking a little bit more like the guy we saw in the first few weeks of the season where it was just like something's a little off, but I did think he kind of got himself into the game as it went along. I wouldn't say he stood out or was spectacular in any way, but I did think he kind of cleaned it up as it moved along and had a couple of those chances.
That one chance in particular really impressed me because that looked like last year Matvei Michkov to me. And he also did get into it with the Penguins at one point in the near the face-off circle. Like,
yeah,
really like getting chippy with those guys, which I always love to see.
Absolutely. All right. I think we have a decent number of super chats. So why don't we get those super chats started, Brenna? Let's get it
This should
going
be
here.
interesting.
The first one here is from Mark. What's that? Mark Canoli.
Mark Canoli.
Mark Canoli
117.
117. If Konechny scores off the post, it's a different game. Yeah, that's the other thing. Konechny found another post tonight. He's getting closer, Steve. He's getting credited with goals that then get taken away. He's getting rush attempts that go off the post. He is real close to scoring a freaking goal, even though it's been like 10 or 11 in a row without one.
Yeah, it's brutal. I feel bad for Teeks, but he's got to get one in. I mean, he's one of the main guys talent-wise on this team. So come on, Teeks.
Hoping for him to get it going a little bit. All right, next one here is from JH. I brought my family to this atrocity. I believe Brenna did as well. I'm sorry, anyone who had to pay for that one. It is, it's a bummer. When I heard that there were some Eagles chants in the stands, I was like, that's how mad people are? They're chanting for the team that everyone's furious at? Like, at
That's
least
pretty
the
bad.
Flyers, for the most part, have exceeded expectations this season. But that was an ugly one. Those are the games when you go, you're just like, why do I do this? Like, it's free when I watch on television. Why do I risk upsetting myself and spending hundreds of dollars in the process?
I know. It's like, what, $14 beer night, right?
But I will say they've been pretty damn good at home this year. And this, hopefully, is not a sign of things to come after a really good road trip.
I think Charlie talked me off the ledge a little bit by mentioning how tired they were after the trip, and Tocchet pointing out how tired they were. So I'm hoping this is an anomaly, and this is a good opportunity to bounce back on Wednesday against the Buffalo Sabres.
On one hand, I just hate hearing that stuff because I'm like, all right, yeah, man, that's life in the big leagues. Like, sometimes you have a bunch of games, but it does make sense. You did just come back from a road trip. It wasn't the furthest road trip in the world. You went to Florida and then you were in Long Island and New Jersey. But it was a lot of games all kind of in a row. A lot of guys kind of playing the same number of minutes. A lot of guys playing. I'll accept it, but I better see a team at 100% on Wednesday.
Yeah, and again, it's the Pittsburgh Penguins. It is one of your key division rivals. You got to get up for this game. I'm sorry, you have to.
Be tired tomorrow.
Yeah,
like that's just kind of. And I know that's real easy to say from the guy on the couch. Like, that's real easy, but like, it's the Pens, man. You want to be taken seriously, like we were talking about after the last game. When do we start taking this team seriously? Be up for this game, and they weren't. All right, thanks for that, JH. Next one is from Justified EDC. Says, since everyone and their uncle apparently wanted penalty minutes tonight, I am awarding every single Flyer a 2-minute minor for making me sad. I'll tell you what bothers me is that Michkov, trying to get in on the forecheck, slashes the guy, sure, gets him just on the stick, like straight, graphite to graphite there. And it's a 2-minute minor because the stick breaks. Okay, sticks are made to break now. Whatever. It's a penalty. The exact same penalty is called against a dude who straight up low blows him. Low blows Garnett Hathaway. It was Lizotte with the ball, with the cup check. Like, the fact that those are the same thing to me is insane.
The Stanley Cup check of the game right there. But yeah, it's insane to me. I felt like that should have been a major because that's just egregious. I mean, that's literally a low blow. Like, that is just one of the worst things you can do to a dude in a sport. It is just horrific. Also,
coward.
I have
absolute coward Lizotte is.
Absolute coward. He should get put the Laurier in next game so he can just headhunt that guy. I also wanted to call out that interference call against Emil Andre where Andre broke his stick and then was going for the puck and they called interference. I thought that was total garbage.
That's battling. If he had his stick in his hands, it's not a penalty too. It's the ref seeing a guy and like making the wrong call at the wrong time. I must say the Flyers once again lead the league in negating their own power plays. But this one was like, no, I'm sorry. That's not interference. Not in the NHL. Yeah, man, if 13-year-olds do that, sure, call the interference. But this is the NHL. You battle a foot in front of the puck. He doesn't have to have the puck on his stick.
I would much rather him go into the corner and battle for that puck to keep it in the offensive zone than retreat to go get another stick or something like that.
Yeah, that's asinine.
Yeah.
All right. Next one here is from David Shub. Hathaway was horrible. Grebs bullied. Abels blah. Yeah, the fourth line was bad. I thought Grebenkin made a couple of plays once he started getting shifts up in the lineup, and if it is him who gets this tryout in the top 9 for however long Foerster's out, hopefully not long, but hopefully we get to see a little bit more out of Nikita Grebenkin, because there's just nothing anyone can do on this fourth line. It is not a good mix of players. Rodrigo Abels is the most average guy in the world at best.
It's
And
like we
Garnet
created a
Hathaway
player.
looks like he's not like, I don't know. Like he doesn't look like the guy we saw the first, 3 years he was here or whatever.
No, Hathaway looks like a shell of his former self, and Abels is like you created a player and you didn't mess with his like statistics at all. Like you're like, we don't need to improve the speed, the hitting, just leave it where it is.
He's just out there.
Yeah,
he wins some faceoffs. I'll give him that.
He's fine every now and then. He has a good game, but man, he's just not an exciting player.
There's just nothing about him that's like, yes, more.
Yeah, give me that.
All right, thanks, David. This one's from Nunya DH. Just saying, Jakib ignores super chats. Grateful for my PHLY fam. Even when you defend other pods from toxic beats, they attack us super chatters. I don't fully understand all of that. All I know is, Jacob Media. Yeah. They do a lot of things that maybe I wouldn't agree with, but whatever. It's not my job to talk about other places. I appreciate everyone who watches our show. And
we love the super chatters. Keep it up, guys.
Yeah, we're a big fan of the super chatters. Even when you make me say Mitsubishi 30 times when we're trying to get out of here on a Saturday.
Don't ban on that for Saturday nights, okay? Yes. Saturday night games, we're already
weekdays do it
in there.
Friday or Saturday, we're leaving. We're not doing it anymore.
It's a day game. Go nuts.
Yes.
Saturday night, please. That's the one favor we're asking from you. We don't ask for a lot. Saturday night,
the bars
don't
are
keep
only
us
open
later.
Until 2. We're trying to get the hell out of there.
We're not
like
New
everyone
York. Come on.
All right, but thank you for that super chat. Another one from David says Adam S met up with us at the game. It's his fault. Bad luck, booger. I sat with a Penguin fan behind me wearing OJ gloves.
Isotoners.
Gart have too much dogfish. It was brought to my attention. Maybe Hathaway hasn't been the same since that concussion. I don't know. I don't know what the problem with Hathaway is. I just know he looks nothing like the guy who I really, really enjoyed watching play hockey his first couple of years in Philly.
I think it could also be as simple as the fact that this is a 34-year-old bottom 6 guy who has played hard minutes his entire career. You see the floor fall out on these guys suddenly all the time. Just look at Mike Richards.
It does just happen.
It's crazy to me that Sidney Crosby is still in the NHL at a productive level. And Mike Richards has been retired for what, a decade?
10 years.
Yeah.
I think the last time he played in the NHL was those 2016 playoffs when he joined the Caps.
Yeah.
And he was like on their fourth line against us.
The guys who play hard minutes, man, like the floor falls out quick.
They are hard minutes. And I will say he doesn't have Ryan Poehling. Ryan Poehling, while yes, that trade you make 100 times out of 100, he is much, much better than Rodrigo Abels, the speed, the puck skill, and perhaps he's missing a little bit of that as well when it's guys not on that level. Like as a complimentary player, what's he supposed to do?
Great fourth liner.
I think it's a combination of all these things, honestly. The hard minutes, not as good line mates, all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. But Adam and David, I love that you two just have a brotherly rivalry here in our super chats. Another one from Nunya. Billiam, what happened to Philadelphia? It's not gone. It's just not a daily show anymore. It's coming back this week. It's going to be inserted in segments in the Gargano show and a bunch of our beat shows. It's going to be me ranting about funny stuff I'm thinking about. We're going to record one tomorrow, I believe. We just don't really have the manpower. Honestly, that's what it came down to. Tyler and I, our time was not being well spent on Philadelphia. It's an inefficient use of manpower, basically, and we're going to try to make it a little bit a little bit easier for everybody, but still, it's not totally gone. It's just changing, and stay tuned for that.
A lot of damn Flyers games to cover too.
Yeah, it just turns out 82 games is a ton. You know.
Yeah.
All right, and with that, we're headed to overtime. Make sure you go to allphly.com to keep watching tonight's show. As I see this next super chat here from JH, still can't get over how straight ass that was. Yeah, that game sucked.
That was hot fried ass, JH. Absolutely.
Yeah, that game sucked ass. It was terrible.
It
Especially
stinks.
against the Pens. You never want to see that.
No.
All right. Next one up here is David again. TK also looked like the Tin Man out there. Rickety. I just didn't notice many guys. I thought he had the one good scoring chance on the that rush attempt he had.
Yeah, he hit that post. If he gets that goal, I don't think we're calling him the Tin Man tonight.
Yeah,
but
I just think
he didn't.
Like, it's hard for me to single out certain guys on a night where basically everybody sucked. Like, all right, Zegras had some good shifts. Like, okay, I guess. Charlie's going to point out Sanheim. Sure, I suppose. But, like, I don't know. They just kind of suck tonight.
Yeah, they were bad. They'll be the first ones to admit it.
Yeah. All right. We have another one from David. I sincerely fear that contract will age like milk. I don't know. I don't know.
I have no idea, but I mean, I don't know. I'm with you, Bill. I don't know.
Here's the thing. $8 million isn't going to be a ton of money soon. Like, that's the thing, is second and third line guys are going to be getting $7 or $8 million. And I was having this conversation with multiple people about Couturier, and they keep calling his contract a monster contract. Like, but it's not. Sub 8 million or the 8 whatever that that TK is getting, like, it's just not going to be that important all that soon.
By the way, TK's second on this team in points. Like, I don't know. I know we're going to do a lot of hand wringing, but he's got 20 points in 25 games. So, like, I know we're seeing a lot of bad stuff, but, like, he's putting up points. I don't know what to tell you.
And, like, the team's playing pretty well tonight, notwithstanding, a night on which they sucked. I hate saying that, but they have been.
I would very much like to see more of what the guy I affectionately call the jerk store out there.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see some more goals from the guy. I'd like to see some more jam out of him.
Maybe after falling off the last 2 years in the second half, he's saving all his goals for the second half this year.
It could be. It could be.
I like that take because I can't be proven wrong for a few more months.
There you go.
All right. Next one here is JH again. Top giving the boys the day off tomorrow because they're tired. Do I get off tomorrow since I had to watch this? They scored one goal. One goal. I mean, you can call out. Like, you could try.
Mental health day. Let's do it.
just call out.
Oh, no, I have to go to jury duty tomorrow. So I'll, yeah. Ugh.
Not guilty.
Yeah.
That's what you always just go in and have one thing in mind and be like, no, I can't be changed. And maybe
I can't be changed. And I'll wear the OJ gloves, the isotoners in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We already had the OJ reference tonight.
I know.
All right. Next one here is John Paul Suarte. Just a nice Charlie O'Connor. A whelp. This whole game felt like one big whelp. Like, as soon as Crosby, like, Vladar thinks he has the puck. It's the rebound's just sitting next to him. Of course, 87 put it in. The game was one big whelp. Really.
It was all downhill from there.
That's what it was.
As soon as Foerster comes off swinging his arm, you're like, that's a big whelp moment right there.
Just throwing his gloves and his stick out of fury. Like, okay, well, this game sucks.
Great. We'll see you in a few
All right. Next one is David again. Nobody played great. But the fourth line in person, woof. Yeah, they got to do something about that fourth line.
Yeah.
Maybe tonight's not the night to complain about it because, like, nobody was good. But it's getting to the point where, all right, yeah, man, the team's playing well overall, so we're not going to worry about the fourth line. But let's worry about it. At a certain point, it doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, the other three lines are good, so don't worry about the fourth. Like, or have four good lines. I don't know.
I would love to see what the time on ice for other fourth lines out there is, because this is all time that you can't play. Like, you can't bench the other, guys. Like, you can't rest the other guys in the lineup. So you also want to talk about them being tired. Garnet Hathaway's playing 10-11 a night. Rodrigo Abels is playing 953 a night. This is all time that these guys could be out there maybe doing some tough defensive assignments, but they're liabilities out there. So it is a problem.
D'Lo, Dorwart, Tony Dick. Next game, that needs to be the fourth line.
D'Lo, by the way, 816 a night.
Yeah,
yeah.
You also have to factor in the penalty minutes sometimes too.
Yeah.
He's only got like 2 or 3 fights this year. It's not like he's got 10 fights.
He does what he does, but apparently he's good luck.
He is good luck. All right. Next one is another one from David. I'm with you, Bill. No fire in the belly. I jump for you. Now, I don't know. I see Owen Tippett take a cross check to the throat in the final 30 seconds of the game. Who cares? You're going to lose. It's 5-1. Knock that guy out.
Knock that guy out and knock the dude who took the nut shot earlier in the game out.
Just settle some scores.
Unacceptable.
What are you afraid of?
I will be actually really mad. When's the next time the Flyers play the Penguins?
It's not till after the new year. But I didn't hear when. JJ said it, but I didn't take note other than in 2026.
I'll look it up, but just I want them to have a long memory with this one, and I want them to just come out on fire for that next one. Do not forget this embarrassment here, because they took some pot shots that I think were just completely unacceptable tonight, and it looks like it's mid-January the next time they play.
Yeah, okay. So a little bit of time there. All right, do we have another one? We do, from Adam S. I paid for a ticket on the glass tonight. Yeah, that's rough.
I'm sorry.
It's rough. I realize it's competitive sports. You never know what result you're going to get. But when you get the clunker, it's you
get the clunker that you dole out good money for a good seat on. Because the glass that's some serious cash right there.
The ticket isn't any cheaper on the night. Well, they just didn't have it. That happens sometimes. The ticket isn't cheaper when that happens. That really does suck for the fans in attendance. So I'm sorry for that, Adam. All right. Do we have another? We do. War the Land, 1944. Well, that was a hockey game. I guess it was 60 minutes of hockey that we'll never get back. Just another game for Sidney Crosby to add to his goal total against the Philadelphia Flyers.
Oh joy, oh joy.
It's truly unbelievable. All right. Adam S. I agree with Bill. The team's lack of physicality on top of getting spanked made the loss suck far worse. Yeah, I can be annoyed that they didn't have it and kind of reason that. All right, I'll give you a pass. 82 games, that's a lot. But I don't know, the guy who puts his body on the line for you, and I know we've criticized Hathaway all season, but the guy who puts his body on the line for you every single game, that's his job, gets speared in the balls. I don't know. Maybe someone get that dude back.
Kick his ass, Seabass.
Check him from behind. He earned it. Once you break the code, no laws apply to you anymore as far as I'm concerned. You can just get punched in the back of the head because you decided to slash a guy in the balls.
And it was clearly a decision he made.
Yes.
If you look at that replay, he's yeah, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. All right. And that's it. That is it for the Super Chat. So that is all the time we have for you on PHLY Flyers Postgame presented by Bet365. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow us right here on YouTube. And make sure, with time winding down, you sign up to be a diehard. $26 for the year. Under an hour left in the sale. Get in there.
What a great deal.
Cheapest it's ever going to be. Read all Charlie's work. Read all of our great writers' work. Access to the Discord. Discount on merch and events. So many reasons to be a diehard. Do it right now. Do it. All right. Follow us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers and follow the podcast wherever you get those. Just search PHLY Flyers. Check out Flyperbole as well. It's a damn good show with Steve Jaco. That's it. I'm Bill Matz. That's Steve Jaco. Thank you to Brenna. Till next time, be excellent to each other.
We all silly like